So, what's the number one mistake I see business owners making in QuickBooks? Well, there's a lot of mistakes. I'm going to cover quite a few here. But the number one mistake that happens so often is they think that QuickBooks is smart. It's AI is smart. Okay. So, it's not always as smart as you think. So, and you can change it and you can train it and you can teach it. That's the whole thing about AI is AI, which QuickBooks has it built in, is you want to train it and you want to teach it so the next time it knows. And it's not always smart on the first try. So what you will see, what I mean is QuickBooks has feeds, right? So you hook your credit card up to QuickBooks, you hook your bank account up to QuickBooks, and it connects to both of them and it downloads all the transactions, which is fabulous because there's no data entry then. No chance to make mistakes on typos with money, with like dollar amounts or anything. It's perfect. Makes reconciliations a breeze. But what happens often is it thinks it knows where something should go and how to categorize it. Like there's something called uncategorized expense, which I don't even know why QuickBooks has it. It drives me insane. But if it doesn't know where to put it, it'll put it there. And if you're not careful, it will miscategorize your expenses. And if you're not paying attention, you just hit add, or even if you have a bookkeeper and they're not paying attention and they just think that QuickBooks knows. So you have to make sure you're looking at the transactions and making sure it makes sense as to how QuickBooks is categorizing it, what QuickBooks is doing with it. It goes towards income too. So I had this one client who was years and years ago, long time ago when I was doing the CFO work. And he came to me to clean up his books. And what he was doing was creating invoices, sending out the invoices, receiving checks in the mail for payment, or he picked them up. And then depositing the checks in his bank and not matching the payment to the invoice because most of the time they paid like a 50% deposit and then paid like another 50% upon delivery. Like it wasn't matching up to the invoice dollar amount. So when it hit his bank account, he was adding it to his bookkeeping, his check register, but he already billed it. So what it was doing, it was doubling his revenue. So here's him thinking he's got this fabulously profitable business because he was doing this for months and he's making hand over fist all this revenue. And when we cleaned it up, we realized like his revenue was half of what he thought it was. Now he wasn't too happy about that, needless to say, but that's just one of the things I've come across to where you have to know what QuickBooks is doing and what you're doing and all the nuances so it makes sense. The other thing, he probably would have figured that out. How do you reconcile his accounts? So you want to make sure you're reconciling your bank accounts and your credit card accounts every single month. This will help you find any kind of errors like that as well. One last thing I want to talk about that I often see on the balance sheet of entrepreneurs is something called open equity balance. Um, there is no such account as open equity balance. So a lot of times, if your QuickBooks was set up, it'll use that account as a default account. It's not a default account. You don't want to use that account. There's no such account. I don't know why, again, I don't know why QuickBooks has it because it just makes this account. Well, if I don't know where to put the opposite entry, that's where I'm going to put it. But it is not a true account that you should be using. it should go somewhere else. Where should it go? It really depends on what the transaction was. So I can get into that much detail. But if you see opening equity balance and you want to reach out for, some help, I can help you with that. I can take a look at it. Feel free to reach out and we can chat.